Welcome and Happy New Year, everybody. We are here today with another round of trivia for you. This is our New Year's edition, and we are so glad that you decided to join us, whether you're here with your family and friends,
Happy New Year!
like I am, enjoying a quieter New Year's Eve at home, or if you've got the whole gang over and it's a loud, raucous party, but you just need a few minutes of quiet trivia, we are here, and we're glad that you are as well.
What kind of trivia are we doing?
We are doing a little bit of New Year's trivia and a little bit of what happened in 2022 trivia. This is a pub-style quiz.
How many questions?
There are 4 rounds with 8 questions in each round.
Is that all the instructions we need?
I think that's it.
Can we start?
We can start.
Then let's go.
Let's go. If you're keeping score at home, you get 1 point for each correct answer. There will be some opportunities for bonus points. We'll let you know where those are. And we are diving right into round 1, which is New Year's tradition. Number 1. What does the Scottish Auld Lang Syne mean? There's an opportunity for a bonus point here if you can name the poet who wrote Auld Lang Syne. Question number 2. What food is traditionally eaten on New Year's Eve in southern U.S. homes to bring good luck in the coming year? Question number 3. Who was the first host of the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration? There's a bonus point for you if you can name his band. Question number 4. In which country is it a New Year's Eve tradition to eat 12 grapes at 1 minute until midnight in order to usher in good luck and prosperity? Question number 5. What year did the first ball drop in Times Square at midnight on New Year's Eve? If you can get it within 3 years, you get the point. Question number 6 is a multiple choice question, so listen carefully. How much does the Times Square ball currently weigh? Answer A, 11,875 pounds. Answer B, 700 pounds. Or answer C, 1,272 pounds. I'm going to give you those choices again. How much does the Times Square ball currently weigh? A, 11,875 pounds. B, 700 pounds. Or C, 1,272 pounds. Question number 7. What traditional New Year's Day parade was launched in 1901 in the city of Philadelphia? And question number 8, the last one in this round. What U.S. city lowers a kiss at midnight? We'll give you just a few minutes to check your answers, and then we will be back with the correct answer.
And we're back with the answers to category number 1, New Year's traditions. Question number 1. What does the Scottish Auld Lang Syne mean? Is it Auld Lang Syne or Old Ang Syne?
It's Auld Lang Syne. So it actually, the literal translation is Old Long Since, but in English that sort of translates to times gone by. So we will take either answer, times gone by, or the literal Old Long Since.
Old Long Since.
Yeah.
Okay. And who wrote...
So for the bonus point, if you named the poet is Robert Burns.
And they're Scottish?
They are Scottish.
Okay. Question number 2, bringing it back to America. What food is traditionally eaten on New Year's Eve in southern U.S. homes to bring good luck in the coming year?
The answer to that question is black-eyed peas.
Not to be confused with an answer maybe in a future music question.
No, we're just going with the food. We're
Okay.
not talking music.
Okay. Question number 3. Who was the first host of the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration?
First host was Guy Lombardo, who actually was not American. He was Canadian, so we're not bringing it home to the U.S. And for the bonus point, Guy Lombardo's band was the Royal Canadians.
Now, I tested this question out on a few people. And
were
the
they
answer
old
that...
people?
Huh?
Were they old people?
Well, ironically, 2 of them were retired. But every one of them said Dick Clark.
Yeah, Dick Clark, I think, is who we associate with Times Square. He's the first one that did the whole Times Square New Year's celebration with, the music, the party, the whole thing. Guy Lombardo just did Guy Lombardo and the Royal Canadians Orchestra.
All right. And continuing with not bringing it back to America, in which country... Oh, wait. That might have given away a clue. Oh, wait, the answer could be America. Disregard that. In which country is it a New Year's Eve tradition to eat 12 grapes at 1 minute until midnight in order to usher in good luck and prosperity?
So the answer to this question is Spain. And I was very curious because the grapes are supposed to be eaten as the clock chimes. So for each bell ringing towards midnight, you're supposed to eat a grape.
Now, where do I get these giant Spanish grapes?
Yes, you're going to have to find teeny tiny grapes because I don't know anybody that could eat individually 12 grapes in that short of a time span unless they are literally the teeniest, tiniest grapes.
Are you hinting at the fact that there might be a short on your channel of people stuffing 12 grapes in their mouth?
Well, that's not the thing. Do not shove all 12 grapes in your mouth at the same time. You have to do one at a time as the clock strikes midnight.
Is this related to the nativity thing from your last trivia?
It might be. Yes.
What year did the first ball drop in Times Square at midnight on New Year's Eve? If you get within 3 years, you get the point.
So the answer to this is 1907. And 3 years in either direction. So if you answer 1904 or 1910, we'll give you the point for that one.
And since we're talking about the Times Square ball, question number 6. How much does the Times Square ball currently weigh?
So you had 3 choices for this one, and the answer was A, 11,875 pounds. That's crazy.
Now, what about the 700 pounds? That seems light.
700 pounds. Well, I thought 700 pounds seemed heavy. I probably would have gone with that because that seemed heavy enough. But a fun fact is that the original Times Square ball, which was made of iron and wood, did weigh 700 pounds. And there was no fancy computer, nothing. That was all raised and lowered by hand.
Okay. So New Year's Eve is over and it's New Year's Day. Question number 7. What traditional New Year's Day parade was launched in 1901 in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia?
Well, you and I both know this because we're Philly people, but it's the Mummers New Year's Day Parade.
Have you ever been to the Mummers Day Parade?
I have been to the Mummers Parade. My dad used to take us every year until he realized it was so difficult to take little girls to the parade because at some point they'd have to go to the bathroom. The parade, as you know, traditionally was about 12 hours long, and it was virtually impossible to find some place to take little kids to the bathroom. So we started watching it at home.
There are lots of comments I could make about this, but you might edit them out. So
I probably would.
We'll just go on to question number 8.
Well, before we move on, there's a fun fact. So
Okay.
The parade has been postponed for weather and things like that. But in all the years, the Mummers Parade has only been actually canceled 3 times.
For those of you who've watched the parade on TV, this is exactly how the parade goes. You're at the point where you're ready to change the channel and somebody goes, wait, the so-and-so is coming up next.
Well, anyhow, Jim, because you're so smart and a smart ass, do you know why the parade was canceled the 3 times?
Well, Philadelphia is famous for Spanish flu, so I would assume that.
The Spanish flu epidemic canceled it one year.
And then since this started a long time ago, I would have to wonder if it was canceled for a lack of flowers during World War II, but I'd probably say the Great Depression.
Actually, it was canceled during the Great Depression in 1934 because there was no prize money for any of the bands, so they did cancel. The only other time in all of the years the parade
that's an obvious answer. It's the answer to every question. It's COVID.
It's COVID. The only other time it was canceled was due to COVID in 2021.
Yep. All right. Well, then, last question in this category. What U.S. city lowers a kiss at midnight?
So this should be fairly obvious.
I asked this to 5 people.
How many of them got it right?
Well, in their minds, they all got it right. They said San Francisco.
So this is a chocolate kiss, and it is lowered in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Which when I told them the answer, they all said, what? And were taken aback by it. So, what other cities could come to mind if you thought a kiss at midnight?
I don't know.
If I didn't think Hershey, I would have thought a city in Virginia.
Because Virginia is for lovers.
That's correct. And that's where I would have gone.
That makes sense.
All right.
But it's a city, so we're going to give you just a minute to tally up your scores, see if you beat that obnoxious cousin that's sitting across the room from you. And then we're going to head right into round 2, which is Sports 2022. We're so good at sports. Question number 1. Name the team Brittany Griner plays for. Question number 2. This 23-time Grand Slam champion tennis player announced they would, quote, evolve away from tennis, end quote, just before this year's U.S. Open. Question number 3. Which NFL player announced his retirement in 2022, only to announce his decision to return to football 40 days later? Question number 4. Many athletes from this country put their sports careers on hold so they could support their country's military efforts. Question number 5. Follow along with me. This is a complicated one. In 2022, this athlete got naked in a swimming pool and behaved inappropriately at United Arab Emirates. He was sued for selling a counterfeit watch. He threw a shoe at and threatened to kill with a gun the mother of his 4 children. He shared publicly private messages from a fellow high-profile athlete. He implied that he had an illicit relationship with Tom Brady's ex-wife by photoshopping his face on Tom Brady's body in photos with Gisele Bündchen. He then stripped off his jersey in the middle of a football game and refused to return to the field, effectively ending his career. But wait, there's more. On the plus side, he was the president of Kanye West's Donda Sports Agency. Who is this athlete? Question number 6. The world's #1 tennis player gave up the chance to play in the US and Australia Open rather than get the mandatory COVID-19 vaccination. Name this player. Question number 7. Liz Thomas, a college swimmer, championed the rights of transgender athletes in 2022. She originally competed as a man early in her collegiate career before starting hormone therapy to transition to a woman. She then competed for the women's team in 2021-2022. Which university did she compete for? And rounding out the sports round, question number 8. In which controversial Middle Eastern country did the World Cup take place? We'll give you just a few minutes to go over your answers, check with your team, make sure all your I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and then we'll come back with our answers.
Round 2, sports for 2022. All right, question number 1. Name the team Brittany Griner plays for.
The answer to that question is the Phoenix Mercury, which I did not know. As many times as I've heard the name Brittany Griner over the last several months, I did not know which team she played for.
Question number 2. This 23-time Grand Slam champion tennis player announced they would, quote, evolve away from tennis just before this year's U.S. Open.
And this answer is Serena Williams, who has not fully committed to retiring like the player in the next question, but she did say that she would evolve away, maybe get involved with other things, spend more time with her family. So she's left the door open.
Isn't this one of those true-false answers as soon as somebody says, trivia question about tennis?
I think she's always going to be in the tennis trivia category.
Question number 3. Which NFL player announced his retirement in 2022, only, shockingly, to reverse his decision 40 days later?
And that would be Tom Brady.
Is this another one of those? What famous British queen? Elizabeth or Victoria? No? Number 4. Many athletes from this country put their sports careers on hold so that they could support their country's military efforts.
The answer to this question is Ukraine.
And a salute out to those people for defending their country. This athlete, it's a long list of things.
Did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Got naked in a swimming pool, behaved inappropriately, United Arab Emirates. He was sued for selling a counterfeit watch.
Who does that?
Have we ever been involved in a counterfeit watch scheme?
No, you have a genuine Romex watch.
Thank you. That Romex means a lot to me.
I know.
We got it during a trip to New York to see a play and a show, and we bought it from an establishment.
Yes, an established card table folding.
Well, it also had an attaché case with it.
It did indeed.
Yes. And they only took the finest of cash.
The green kind.
Yeah, the authentic kinds.
Yes.
Threw a shoe and threatened to kill with a gun the mother of his 4 children. Shared private messages from a fellow high-profile athlete. Implied he had an illicit relationship with, what's the name of Tom Brady's ex-wife?
Gisele Bündchen.
See, that could have been a separate question.
Could have been.
Could have been a bonus question.
It could have been.
Yeah, would have thought about it. He photoshopped his face on Tom's bodies in photos with Gisele. Do they have the same body type?
Probably a similar body type, but one is African American and one is not African American. So I would think there were hints that it might have been photoshopped.
Was this a Fiverr job?
No, it might have been a gym job. I don't know.
That would have been a good advertisement for Fiverr this year.
Yes.
When you want to go crazy with Tom Brady's wife on Photoshop, come to Fiverr. All right. Stripped his jersey off in the middle of the game and refused to return to the field. Who is this athlete?
This athlete, formerly, I'm assuming, of NFL's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is Antonio Brown.
Number 6. The world's number 1 tennis player gave up the chance to play in the U.S. Open and Australian Open rather than get the mandatory COVID-19 vaccination. Name the player.
The name of that player is Novak Djokovic. Fun fact, Australia originally banned him for competing for 3 years. They have backpedaled a little bit, and he will be allowed to participate in the Australia Open next month.
Fun fact, the number 2 player in the world probably doesn't think this is a funny fact.
No, I'm sure.
Number 7, Liz Thomas, a college swimmer, championed the rights of transgender athletes in 2022. She originally competed as a man earlier in her collegiate career before starting hormone therapy to transition to a woman. She then competed in the women's team 2021-2022 season. Which university did she compete for?
And that's right, local to us, the University of Pennsylvania.
And saving the last question for the big one, the big game of 2022. In which controversial Middle Eastern country did the World Cup take place?
It took place in Qatar.
Bonus question, Qatar is in the Middle East.
Thank you. We will give you a few minutes to tally up your scores. Make sure you're still coming ahead on top. And we will be right back with round 3. Round 3, the category is Politics 2022, everybody's favorite. And we'll kick it right off with question number 1. What Supreme Court vote was leaked to the public in May of 2022? Question number 2. Name the politician who defeated Dr. Mehmet Oz for a Senate seat despite suffering a stroke just days before the May primary. You can get a bonus point on that question if you can name what political position that person held before winning the Senate seat. Question number 3. Which state was forced to hold a runoff Senate election when the general election was too close to call?
And for 2 bonus points, name the 2 candidates, the one that won and the one that lost.
Question number 4. Who replaced Prime Minister Liz Truss in the UK, who served in the role for just 50 days? Question number 5. Name the American politician from New York who admitted that he embellished key facts about his life and qualifications, including where he graduated from college. He didn't. He stated that he worked for Goldman Sachs. He didn't. He claimed that his mother was killed on 9/11. She wasn't. And claimed to be Jewish because his maternal family has a Jewish background. He's actually Catholic. Name that politician. Question number 6. What political spouse suffered a fractured skull in a hammer attack inside his home at the hands of a far-right extremist? Question number 7. Name one of the 2 Republicans who served on the January 6th committee. You'll get a bonus point if you can name them both. And question number 8. What is the name of Donald Trump's Palm Beach, Florida property that was raided by the FBI in August of 2022? We'll give you just a few minutes to tally your scores, check your points, check your answers, make sure you don't want to scratch any off, and we'll go right into round 4.
That annoying cousin, can I look over at their answers?
Oh, absolutely. You know he's got them right.
All right, put those pencils down.
Put your cell phones down.
We confiscated those at the beginning of the trivia.
I hope so.
Yep, they were left at the front door along with the car keys, because this is a raucous New Year's Eve party. Politics. Speaking of raucous, or that's caucus.
That's caucus.
What Supreme Court vote was leaked to the public in May of 2022, setting back reproductive rights?
2022? That would be Roe versus Wade.
Question number 2. Name the politician who defeated Dr. Mehmet Oz for a Senate seat despite suffering a stroke just days before the May primary.
That would be John Fetterman. There is a bonus point if you can name the political position John Fetterman held before he won the Senate seat.
He was the Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
That is correct.
You don't get bonus points if you put down Commonwealth.
You do not know.
Which state, number 3, was forced to hold a runoff Senate election when the general election was too close to call?
That state would be Georgia.
And for the bonus points, can you name the winner and the loser?
The winner of that election was Raphael Warnock.
Doctor?
And we don't want to call him a loser. Do we want to call him a loser?
Well, he was the person who didn't win, and generally Hold on, let me check my thesaurus. That says loser.
That would be Herschel Walker.
Yes. Not a doctor, but NFL alumni.
Yes.
Question number 4. Who replaced Prime Minister Liz Truss, who served in the role for just 50 days?
And was also the last prime minister to meet Queen Elizabeth.
That could have been a bonus question right there.
That could have been. The answer to this question is Rishi Sunak, and he is the first British, Asian, and Hindu to hold the office.
Well, congratulations to them. May they
Congratulations.
serve longer than their predecessor.
Let's hope. That's not much.
Now, at this point in our trivia, we had a conversation earlier about should the dogs be allowed to stay here during trivia? Now, my answer to the question was, I don't think so, Beauty Girl's mom. Beauty Girl's mom, what was your answer to that question?
No, they're quietly sleeping on the floor. There's no reason to move them.
Are we keeping this in or taking this out?
You can keep it in.
Okay. Then let's go to question number 5. Name the American politician from New York. New York City or New York State?
New York State.
Okay. Who admitted that he, in air quotes here, embellished. It's air quotes because these are way out there. Key facts about his life and qualifications, including where he graduated from college.
He didn't graduate from college.
Stated that he worked for Goldman Sachs.
He also did not do that.
And who claimed to be married to Beauty Girl's mom.
That also would be inaccurate.
But he didn't claim that one.
He didn't claim that one, no.
I claimed that one.
Yeah, well, thanks for passing me off.
And who claimed he was Jewish? Because there was someone in his family's maternal background that was Jewish, even though he's Catholic.
The answer to this question is George Santos.
Now, if you're listening to this trivia in a few days after New Year's, his full name will actually be Representative, or the Honorable George Santos. But question number 6. What political spouse suffered a fractured skull in a hammer attack inside his home at the hands of a far-right extremist?
And the answer to that would be Paul Pelosi, who fortunately has made a recovery from that. I'm sure there's still some things he's working on, but he's home from the hospital and doing well after surgery to alleviate pressure in his.
And at the time of 2022, his spouse was
Nancy Pelosi.
the Speaker of the House.
That's correct.
Which will also change in the next few days. Number 7. Name one of the 2 Republicans who served on the January 6th committee, and you get a bonus point if you can name them both.
So both of them are Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger.
And for our last question, what is the name of former U.S. President Donald Trump's Palm Beach, Florida property that was raided by the FBI in August of 2022?
And that property is Mar-a-Lago.
All right, everybody. What's next?
We are going to give you a few minutes to tally up your scores, check your points, copy off of everybody else in the room.
Not that cousin, because she didn't do well last round copying off that.
Not that cousin, and then we will be moving on to round 4.
So this is round 4, the celebrity round. I was actually going to read these questions, but Beauty Girl's mom, knowing how well I am at celebrity trivia, just talked right over me. And now she's going to answer the questions instead. Ask the questions.
Ask the questions. We'll let you answer them, because I wrote them down
Did you
for
copy
you.
off my answers?
Not in celebrity, not any more than I would have copied sports from you, but...
Question number 1.
Question number 1. This couple got engaged in November of 2...
I'm sorry, what?
Maybe you should read them. This couple got engaged in November of 2002, canceled their wedding just one day prior to the big event, married and divorced other people, and finally made it down the aisle together in 2022. Who are they? Question number 2. How many years did Queen Elizabeth II serve as monarch over the United Kingdom? Question number 3. Which celebrity canceled her Vegas residency just one day before it was supposed to begin, citing production delays due to supply chain issues and the COVID-19 pandemic? Question number 4. What movie did Chris Rock reference when speaking to Jada Pinkett Smith that got him slapped by Oscar winner Will Smith? Number 5. Which actor announced through his family that he would be stepping away from his decades-long acting career due to suffering from a condition called aphasia, which results in difficulty communicating? Question number 6. What talk show host was called the most abusive customer in 25 years at a restaurant where he berated a server who got a little bit of egg white mixed into an egg yolk omelet? Number 7. What Canadian musician had his entire catalog removed from Spotify after he accused them of allowing the spread of misinformation on COVID-19? And question number 8.
Wait, there's a bonus question for number 7.
Oh, there is a bonus question for number 7. Which popular Spotify podcaster was behind the spread of the misinformation?
If you get this point, thank me. Just put a little smile with a J next to it.
That's right, because I would have skipped it entirely.
Yeah. This might make the difference between you and that annoying cousin.
It might. Question number 8. This singer's first husband was arrested for entering her home to crash her wedding to her current husband. There is also a bonus question.
You got to save this one for later. This bonus question is kind of like, so the answer to number 7's in 6 and 5.
We'll give you a chance to answer for a bonus point when we give the answers. But for right now, take a few minutes, check your answers, Google whatever you need to do.
Refill your mimosa?
Refill your mimosa. And we'll be back with our final thoughts.
Okay, this is round 4, our final round of this New Year's trivia. Celebrities and 2022. That's how you say that year.
Thank you. I messed it up once.
Question number 1. This couple got engaged in November of 2002.
Oh no! Were you just gonna mess that up?
This couple got engaged in November. I'm going to fix this in post and cut that out to make me look good. Number 1, this couple got engaged in November of 2002. Canceled their wedding just one day prior to the big event. Married and divorced other people. And finally made it down the aisle together in 2022. Who are they?
They are Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. We will also accept Bennifer.
If you're an Uber celebrity status.
If you are Uber celebrity status.
Okay. Question number 2. How many years did Queen Elizabeth II serve as monarch over the United Kingdom?
She served for 70 years, something that King Charles, at the age of 74, will not be able to do.
Bonus question in the Easy Kids section. Which monarch served the longest in the United Kingdom?
Might have been this one.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those Trivial Pursuit questions that's going to come up a lot. Question number 3. Which celebrity canceled her Vegas residency? I don't know what that means. I mean, she canceled her house, her apartment, her lease?
No, she had like a permanent gig in Vegas.
Okay. Which celebrity canceled her Vegas residency just one day before it was supposed to begin, citing production delays due to supply chain issues and the COVID-19 pandemic? I have an answer to this.
You do?
Yes.
What's the answer?
Due to supply chain delays, he couldn't get those giant size cards. It was The Amazing Jonathan.
Unfortunately, passed away. So no, that's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Answer to this question is Adele.
But she's a singer.
She is a singer.
So what supply chain issues affect a singer?
I mean, I'm sure there were
Fireworks?
microphones or lights or some kind of technical... I don't know. Might have been fireworks.
Huh. Question number 4. What movie did Chris Rock reference when speaking to Jada Pinkett Smith that got him slapped by Oscar winner Will Smith? Now, was he slapped by Oscar winner Will Smith, or was he slapped by Will Smith, who then became an Oscar winner?
So Will Smith, I believe, I would have to Google, had already won an Oscar, but he did, subsequent to the slap, win an Oscar.
And what was the name of the movie?
The name of the movie was G.I. Jane.
That's an interesting point. See, now I wonder if our trivia aficionados will call you on that. Because if Will Smith wasn't an Oscar winner at the moment of the slap, you know, so I guess how many Oscars has Will Smith won? You know.
Well, you know, I'm just Googling because he is nominated.
Trivia cheater.
He may be nominated this year for his current movie, but he's been banned. And apparently he that was his first Oscar win.
So if you correctly called foul on this question, bonus point for you. The rest of your team, though, would have been like, just put down G.I. Jane. Number 5. Which actor announced through his family? So already we've ruled out half of the Hollywood gender because you've said his.
I said his.
So that's a clue. Which actor announced through his family that he would be stepping away from his decades-long acting career? See, now you've narrowed it down even more.
Because he's an old guy.
Some old guy. Due to suffering from aphasia, a condition that results in difficulty communicating.
This was kind of a sad one because I've always enjoyed him. The answer is Bruce Willis.
Now, what's interesting is Bruce Willis was also in our last trivia.
Was he in our last trivia?
Die Hard.
Oh, there was a Die Hard question.
It's a classic New Year's Eve movie.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation about what caused his aphasia, whether he's suffered a stroke. There have been rumors that for at least the last couple movies and things that he's worked on, he's relied heavily on an earpiece to have his lines fed to him. So whatever it is, we wish him well.
Now, Bruce Willis was in The Sixth Sense?
Yes, he was.
Yes, a famous movie where Beauty Girl's mom famously cheated because she went to the movie the day before and then sat next to me going, watch what happens next. Question number 6. What talk show host was called the most abusive customer in 25 years at a restaurant where he berated a server who got a little bit of egg white mixed into an egg yolk omelet?
First of all, I've never heard of an egg yolk omelet. I always assumed there was an egg white omelet. The answer to this question is James Corden, which, I mean, watching late night talk show hosts, I would have thought he was probably the kindest, the sweetest. Evidently, I'm wrong.
So I asked this to my small group of people before we started recording this. They all said Ellen.
Really?
Yes. Because Ellen had been in the news previously at some point in time for being rough on her staff.
Well, wasn't it a few years back, Steve Harvey was outed by a staff member who said they were not allowed to look at him or talk to him prior to his show?
Well, I guess my thing with this is, what restaurant, why is the restaurant coming out and getting attention? Literally, the restaurant called the press conference to say, hi, we screwed up a customer's order, and they called us on it.
Well, I guess because James Corden maybe doesn't have a reputation as being an idiot or, a jerk, they wanted to make sure people knew, especially as he's about to walk away from his late show.
And what is the name of this restaurant?
The name of the restaurant is Balthazar, which is apparently one of the most popular celebrity hangouts in Manhattan.
And do you have any other fun facts about Mr. James Corden?
Well, I have lots of fun facts, a little gossip about this whole incident. This was not the first time in this meal that he caused a stir. He apparently demanded free drinks when he says that he found a hair in his food, although his entire plate of food had been eaten. When this incident came to light to the public, he contacted the restaurant and made an apology. He had been banned from the restaurant based on his behavior. They rescinded the ban, and then James Corden did an interview where he said that he didn't shout, he didn't scream, he didn't think that he did anything inappropriately, and he was rebanned from the restaurant. The other fun fact is that James Corden has announced he will be walking away from his Late Late Show at the end of this contract.
But it's in no way Humpty Dumpty related to this egg incident.
It is not. It is something that he did without regard to the incident.
Question number 7. What Canadian musician had his entire catalog removed from Spotify after he accused them of allowing the spread of misinformation about COVID-19?
So this was a little interesting in researching this. The answer is Neil Young. However,
The bonus question is
which popular Spotify podcaster was behind the spread of this misinformation?
and that answer is
Joe Rogan.
Who's still on Spotify.
He is still on Spotify. However, in researching this, my understanding originally was that Neil Young demanded that his catalog be removed from Spotify. But I did find a few places where it indicated that he threatened to remove his catalog, and Spotify just did it. They didn't give him a choice. They just removed it. So I don't actually know what happened, but he definitely is the one that threatened to remove his music.
Well, that is the danger of throwing down the gauntlet. Someone might call your bluff.
True.
Pick up the gauntlet.
True.
All right, question number 8. Our last question in this category, and the last question of the New Year's Trivia.
Last question.
This singer's first husband was arrested for entering her home to crash her wedding to her current husband. So, this was a home wedding?
This was held at her home, and the first husband was Jason Alexander.
Not of Seinfeld.
Not of Seinfeld, and he was married to Britney Spears.
Now, were they married for years and years and years?
No, and that is the bonus question that we will now give you a few seconds to answer. Within 5 hours, how long did Britney's first marriage to Jason Alexander last?
That's a tough one because you and I have been married in Vegas.
We renewed our vows in Vegas.
So we've been married in Vegas. And
been
we know
married
that if we got married and then wanted to get divorced, we'd have had to walk all the way around the building to get back in the line.
Yes.
So.
Or driven through.
Or driven through.
High
five for a drive-through wedding.
High five.
Love you.
So the answer to this, and it's kind of a clue that we've given you a range of 5 hours. Jason Alexander's marriage to Britney Spears lasted 55 hours. And again, he was her first husband. Her second husband was Kevin Federline. And she is currently, as of 2022, married to Sam Asghari.
And that's the end of our celebrity trivia.
That is the end of all of our trivia for New Year's.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's. Good health. Good wishes.
And we'll see you next time. Is there any way for somebody to be notified about future trivia?
You got to boop that bell. Hit the bell, subscribe to our channel, and you will be notified the next time we pull this together.
And if you haven't done the Christmas trivia, go do that right now before it's too late.
Absolutely.